Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Elevate. My name is Jessica,
My name is Darwin.
and happy Father's Day!
Happy Father's Day, my guys out there.
Happy
My
Father's
good
Day
ones.
to one of the best dads that I personally know.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm flattered.
Yes, happy Father's Day. I know today is Monday, but when we're recording this episode, it is Father's Day, and we are about to head out of here and have some barbecue fun.
Some Father's Day activities.
Yes. So today, because we are, this was the weekend of celebrating fathers, we want to talk about Father's Day, right? We want to talk about, how spectacular and, amazing everybody celebrates Father's Day, right?
Everybody, including women. I'm a little
Well,
confused.
I'm being a little sarcastic because it's not a secret that mothers do get a lot more love than fathers on Father's Day.
For sure.
I know this could be a little controversial, and people have a lot of things to say, and there's certain people who
People as in women. Right?
we could say mostly, they have some very strong opinions about, Father's Day and, fathers being praised. And I guess, that it comes from, I guess, the experience certain women have had with men and fathers, right? Which is totally valid. Like,
Yeah.
I agree that there's fathers out there who, I mean, they're the sperm donor.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not really father figures. They haven't done their part, and I agree. They shouldn't be celebrated. In such a high fashion because they don't deserve
Yeah.
that title. Because being a father entails more than just being a sperm donor. You have to be present. You have to be a father figure. You have to be a good example. You have to be someone who actually looks out for your children rather than just have sex everywhere.
And we're actually talking about this because Anthony O'Neill, he posted something, and he's actually not a father yet.
No.
And he got smoked.
I was going through these comments and I'm like, oh my God, I totally agreed with what he was saying. He was saying how, he feels that it's not okay for single mothers to try to take away the shine from Father's Day, or
Agreed.
try to take the credit for Father's Day because they are single mothers. And I kind of have to agree with him. I think that as mothers, we get a lot more love and attention when it's Mother's Day. And
It's almost a sin if you guys don't get attention. Like, there's a problem if there's no attention.
we get our day, and for most of us, if you don't, I'm sorry, but for most of us, everywhere you go, you turn the corner and you can see someone selling flowers, selling teddy bears, something. Happy Mother's Day. When it's Father's Day, though, you don't see that much attention.
Home Depot's on sale, though.
And maybe it's because, we view fathers as less, I guess, feminine, and maybe fathers don't really want flowers, and maybe that's why we don't see flowers in the corners, because
But I mean, even on social media, you don't see you see posts, but not like Mother's Day. Mother's Day is like,
I'm a mother, and I cannot sit here and pretend like that's not true. It's a fact. There isn't that much attention, and I know that a lot of women feel that fathers don't do as much as mothers do. But that is solely based on your experience with the father you chose.
exactly.
So for me, I feel that you can have any opinion you want. You might have had the experience that every man you chose as the father of your children has not been present, has not been a good example or a good father figure. But that doesn't mean that there aren't fathers out there
Yeah.
that deserve this day. There's plenty of fathers that deserve to be praised today.
Well, and there's some women that will take the day for themselves and just be like, oh, it's Father's Day, but happy Father's Day to me. Like, I totally understand
That's what
that.
he was saying.
Yeah, but I totally understand that there are single mothers out there, and there are great single mothers out there. There's also bad ones. But the thing is, like, you as a mother, no matter if you are a single mother, you can never replace like what a father is.
That's how I feel about it, and I think that's what O'Neill was trying to explain, that no matter what, it's unfortunate that certain mothers, single mothers, have to go through it alone. And sure, that father maybe doesn't deserve to be celebrated because he hasn't been present. But at the end of the day, you might be an amazing mother and you go above and beyond for your children, but a father figure cannot be replaced.
For sure.
It just cannot. There's things that a father, in my opinion, and you excuse me if you think otherwise, but there's things that as a father you provide to your children that no matter how much a woman can try to be a good woman, she won't be able to be that figure for her children.
I mean, a simple example would be, let's say you're a mother, a single mother, and you have a daughter. How do you teach that daughter to look up to you as like the man she wants in the future? You know
what kind of, how can you be a good representation of what a man should be?
And then it's like, you can tell her what a good man should be, but that's based on your opinions and the way, and you're probably not in the best position to do it because you clearly chose the wrong person to be the father of your child.
Exactly.
So
there's nothing like pure example.
Exactly.
There's nothing like your children seeing exactly, no one's perfect. No man or no woman is perfect, but there's nothing like your children seeing exactly what a functional, healthy family dynamic should look like.
And also, it's not to bash like single mothers.
Absolutely not. I have my utmost respect to single mothers. That is hard.
Bro, it's hard as a couple.
Exactly. I can't imagine the struggles you have had to go through as a single mother. I cannot imagine. My hat's off to you, and it's unfortunate, and I feel so bad for any woman who's had to have gone through this. But let's not diminish the importance of the fathers. Let's not diminish how important they also can be. And let's not dim away the light for those men who are actually good fathers, who are actually there. There are a lot of men out there. Let's not put the focus on the negative.
Yeah. And also shout out to the single fathers, because they are single fathers that take care of their kids. And the same goes to them. Like they cannot try to be like on Mother's Day, they can't be like, "Hey, I'm your mother too." No, you can't. You are that child's father. Exactly. Period. So it goes both ways, because there are single fathers out there too. And salute to you guys. Double happy Father's Day to you, because you're doing it alone.
Absolutely. It's like you said, you cannot. It goes both ways, even on Mother's Day. But it's less common. You see less. You don't see that so much. Yeah, you don't see a man
posting like, "Hey, I'm the mother."
Exactly. Yeah. You don't see that as much. And so that's why, I thought it was a very interesting conversation to bring up. And I think that we should be reasonable and just respect, give respect where respect is due. We have a day that is Mother's Day, and we are, for the most part, praised a lot by everyone. Everywhere you go on that day, hey, happy Mother's Day, even for the people you don't know, are greeting you, happy Mother's Day. You go to a restaurant, everybody is so, welcoming and just congratulating for being a good mother. Yeah. Let's leave this day to fathers. Let's just stop. I think that it's unnecessary, the battle. It's like it's a competition.
For real.
And it shouldn't be that way. Again, if you've had a bad experience with the father of your kids, with the sperm donor, because if they're not present, I agree, they aren't a father. That is your experience, and I respect that, and I think that it's valid. Your feelings are valid. Yeah. It's not to say that your feelings aren't valid. Your feelings are valid, but let's respect the day for the good fathers.
Yeah,
and let's not try to put a cloud over the day because you've had a bad experience with the father figures in your life.
But I feel even if, like, let's say you're in a marriage and you guys like left each other, but the guy's still a good father, even though you guys are not in good standings, like you should still.
Oh, absolutely.
There's women that would bash him, like, that's because he failed you. That does not mean that he's a bad father. It's just you guys didn't work out.
Agreed. I completely agree.
Because there are women that will just be like, nah, he's trash, period. Like, no, maybe he's trash to you, because y'all
maybe
didn't
he's
work
not a
out.
good husband. You're absolutely right. And we need to recognize when, you know, it was our choice. Whoever we chose as a partner was our choice. And we need to recognize that, you know, when we choose, you know, the wrong person to be the father to our kids, that was a mistake also on our part. Sometimes, you know, I understand that sometimes things happen and, you know, you couldn't really see the red flags, or maybe he did change along the way and didn't really show you the signs for this to have been preventable. But a lot of the times we have plenty of red flags and we choose to ignore them. So sometimes we need to step up and say, you know what, I messed up as well. He messed up because he's a deadbeat dad right now, but I also messed up because I chose him to be the dad.
For sure.
And I didn't take care of myself. Or maybe I had high expectations and I thought I was superwoman and I could change this man. And me thinking naively in my ignorance, thinking that maybe if I have a child with this man, he's going to be different. He's going to change. Sometimes we need to take it's our fault as well. We need to recognize that sometimes. And as much as it may hurt, you know, we need to learn how to move past that. I know many women are probably going to listen to me and say, well, it's very easy for her to say,
'cause
you
you got
know,
a partner.
sitting there, you know, with someone who truly supports her. But when I look back, you know, there's things that I've been through as well. And, you know, I've been blessed, and not just blessed, but I also knew we've had these conversations before. I kind of had an idea of the type of dad he would be. But I also recognize that there's plenty of people that I've met when I was younger that, you know, were poor choices.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I put myself in the shoes of some of these single women, and I think that could have been me had I not thought logically.
And I mean, technically, you probably had a higher chance because although like I had a father in my life for a few years, like, you know, just there, not, you know, like there's that are just absent period. He wasn't like the perfect father. Like, I mean, nobody's the perfect
And
father,
technically,
but
a lot of people don't know our full story, but you were a very high risk.
super high risk.
I took a huge high risk.
So yeah, like, so I didn't really have a father figure. Like, he was just there for a few years, and that's still like while going through like my parents' divorce and all that. So it wasn't like you was like, oh yeah, he comes from like a great father. Like, he'll be a great father.
This is why I have empathy.
I mean, to put it this simple, like I have like 13 brothers, and they're like from multiple women.
Yeah. This is why I have empathy with women, because I know that sometimes when, especially if you had children when you were very young, I was 23 when I had Armani, and in my mind, I thought I was going to have children when I was 25, which is still young. But now that I'm 33.
But I chose differently. I chose a different path for you.
You know, there's just so much that goes into it, you know, that I now know what I took with you was very high risk. And it could have ended in ways that I would not have wanted. Yeah. But I also think that a lot of the reason why things ended up the way they did with us is because I'm a believer and I pray. And when we were going through when I was going through very like cloudy stages where, you know, my mind wasn't so clear as to what was the right choice, I really prayed. I prayed every day, every night. I would tell God, like, God, please, if this person isn't for me, I want you to do everything in your power to remove them from my life. And I really believe that those prayers are the reason why we're here. And the reason why, you know, even though you didn't have the perfect father figure, there were things that happened in your life that made you become the better person.
Yeah. And I feel like I was pretty vocal about not wanting to be that way too.
Right. And that also influenced my choice. You know, even though I knew you technically you're not a common situation. Somebody in your shoes with the circumstances you had would more probably than not not be the person you are today. So I do recognize that you are a 1 in a million type of thing in your type of situation. But that's to say, I sympathize with you women. I know that sometimes we are in love and, you know, we're blinded by these things, especially if you're young and you haven't lived your life. You can be very naive in thinking that maybe you can change this person, that maybe, you know, things will be different in the future. But we always have to think about now. And you have to think about, if this person was to never change, would you still be happy? That's the question you have to be asking yourself when you are with this person. Dating. If this person chooses not to change, because they can say, oh yeah, I want this for the future, I want that, you know. But if this person was not to change one bit this day from how they are today, would you be happy with this person for the rest of your life? And if the answer is no, then you have to move on, because this is not the right person for you.
Yeah.
And again, there are exceptions. I'm not saying that there aren't. There are exceptions to the rule. There are exceptions to everything. But you have to follow your gut. You have to follow your intuition. And most likely than not, our gut always tells us what's right. It's just that sometimes we choose not to listen to it because we're very deeply in love with this person, or, you know, we just have that butterfly feeling and it's so beautiful and nice, and everything at the beginning is great. That man is going to tell you everything you want to hear, but you have to be very clear on what it is that you want for your life. And so back to Father's Day.
I mean, but to stay on that point a little bit, it's kind of what we've spoken about on previous episodes, that if the guy is just, let's say, showering you in like materialistic things and you're just blinded by that love of like, oh, he's just like taking me shopping and buying me jewelry and this and that, you're never going to really see like, is this person like a good father? Is he a good partner? Because he's just showering you in gifts, and to you, that's your way of saying like, oh, he loves me. He gives me stuff.
Right, but life is so much more than gifts. I mean, when you marry a person or move in or decide to form a family with a person, there are so many questions you need answered. There are so many things you need to come to the table and talk about. As somebody maybe dating in their 30s, you are in your 30s. You need to be sitting down and having some serious conversation with this person.
Facts.
You need to be talking financials. Where do you stand? Do you work? Are you lazy? Do you want kids? Do you not want kids? And you know what? I think some of the questions you shouldn't even ask directly. You should just see how this person acts. For me, I knew, for some reason, I just knew you would be a good dad. Because why? Even when we weren't talking about like children in the future, I saw how you interacted with children. I actually observed that.
Oh, yeah?
When we were younger. Yeah, like when we would go, let's say, for example, Zoila's house, how you would interact with Camila.
Oh, yeah.
It was so cute.
Camila's my goddaughter. And she actually ended up being my goddaughter.
You know, and I would see how, you know, I never heard you say anything like, oh my God, like kids are so annoying, or like, I never really saw you annoyed at kids. You know, it was just like you were so nurturing with kids. And I always felt, because of that observation I had with you, I knew you would be great with your own.
I think we always spoke about like, oh, we're going to have 3 kids. So we still, I mean, short one, but
and I don't think 3 was the number.
Not definitely.
Was it? I don't really remember.
I think so.
I think we always spoke about 2.
Maybe. I mean, but I'm going to just make it 3 too.
Well, oh, but whatever.
Just in case. Whatever. That's what we discussed in the beginning.
Whatever. Let's see what happens, guys.
I'm going to.
Anyway, so back to the Father's Day.
I know you want to continue, but like I think we should mention the sponsor of this video.
Oh, yes. Today's sponsored for this podcast is Toto Studio, a studio located in Yonkers, New York, for creators by creators.
So for those of you who have a project coming up, whether that be a video project, a photo project, a campaign for a clothing line, a product line, we are all inclusive. We do video, photo, and if you have your own photographer, videographer, and you just need studio space, we also offer that service. So you can book us via Peerspace or shoot us a DM on Instagram
at Book Toto Studio.
And yeah. back to the episode.
Yeah, so back to Father's Day, all I'm saying is I don't want you guys to take this to heart. I don't want you guys to get offended. I don't want you guys to feel like, oh, it's very easy to speak from her point of view because, she has it all or she has the perfect life, which I don't. But, many of you may think I do. Everything in life is a choice. And sometimes we have to take responsibility for certain decisions that we make in our life. And that being said, let's let fathers enjoy their Father's Day. Fathers deserve respect. They deserve the same love. They deserve the same attention. And I'm sure there's a lot of deadbeat dads out there. And I'm sure there's a lot of deadbeat moms out there. But just because there are some of that, there's no reason to take away the light from those who actually deserve to be praised on this day.
Yeah, and shout out, just to finish it off, shout out again to all my fathers. I understand what you guys go through. I understand you do it all for your family, those who are there. And you will do anything to make any situation possible. And I respect that because I'm the same way. So truly salute to you guys. And don't worry if you're not the perfect father. Nobody is. Don't be fooled by what you see on social media about these perfect dads. Everybody's trying to figure it out. So just one day at a time, just be better. I'm working on the same thing. So
absolutely.
Salute to you guys.
Everybody is trying to figure it out. Nobody's perfect. Every day we're trying to be better. We're trying to be better mothers, better fathers, better, wives, husbands,
Elevate.
Yes, every day is a struggle to become a better person than you were yesterday. So
Better than yesterday.
Let's not continue to compare each other. Let's, come together in love and just elevate your life every day, one step at a time.
And that's it for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
That's it for today's episode. Yes, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like, comment down below, hit the bell so you can be notified every time we post a video. If you're here on YouTube, if you are on our audio platforms, don't forget to leave us your reviews if you are enjoying our podcast. And that's it for today's episode, you guys. Thank you so much for watching or listening. Until next time.
Peace.